this, but I'm doing it anyway. I need to remove this bolt. That's one of the first things I need to take out so I can split my case. And in order to do so, I have to temporarily reinstall my clutch basket, which of course I had all nice and neat and put away. So I'm gonna get to work on that. This will be good practice for when I have to put this thing back together. Washer. Unless I break my fingers. Actually, so I can tighten this down without running into issues. I'll take this washer off. So this is like a locking washer, and it was a pain in the ass to get off. It was bent up and around. Just to make it easier to kind of tighten this on here. And I'm going to try not to forget it when I take this back off. Alright, so obviously if I move this, everything moves, so I can't loosen it. It suggests I take an aluminum plate and wedge it in here so I can loosen this thing. So it turns this way, so I need to put something here to jam it up. Now, I don't know if I have an aluminum plate per se. What's this? No. But I guess I'll find something to use. Alright, so I could not for the life of me find an aluminum plate, but I do have a feeler gauge, and I can just hope I never need to use this actual size. So, let's see what happens here. Basically just jamming it up. Oh boy, I'm gonna need a bigger wrench. Fortunately, I don't really have a good angle to where I can push down. Typically, if I'm trying to bust something that's a little, nice. If I'm trying to bust something, I'll typically do it this way and push down, but I don't really have room, so I'm just gonna see if I can powerhouse it without breaking my face. All right. She's loose. Worked like a charm. I don't even, yeah, and it didn't even hurt this. So there you go. There's my aluminum plate. So it says remove primary gear drive, bolt 1, washer 2, primary drive gear 3. So 1, 2. Gosh, that looks pretty chewed up. 3. Oh, I have to take this off again. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Like, if I'm supposed to talk about life, my plans for next season with racing. I don't really know, but I guess I could. So next year racing is going to be interesting because Ryan and I are going to Nepal, and we're going to trek to Everspace Camp. What's cool about that is when we originally planned our trip, we bought tickets to Kathmandu. Oh, looks like everything kind of fell out, of course. We bought tickets to Kathmandu with a layover in Doha in March. Well, MotoGP released their schedule, and guess where they're going to be in March? So this goes so nice. That goes inside here. I'm glad I saw that not come out. Very nice. So they are going to be in Doha, and I was like, we have a layover that same weekend in Doha. Oop, I am all backwards now. So this goes there. Yes. No. Okay. Ah, there it is. It's kind of hard to talk and work at the same time. So I thought it would just be stupid if we had our layover and didn't go to the MotoGP race. So we switched our flights at the last minute, and now we are going to Doha for a couple days, and we are going to enjoy MotoGP while we are there. And then we will be in Nepal, which will be awesome, I'm hoping. But as I'm sure you guys can guess, the whole thing is going to be relatively expensive. Granted, we are not rich by any means, just your everyday middle-class folk here. So I am going to be starting this season at a bit of a financial deficit, so to speak. We've been planning this trip for a long time, so it's really important that we go. There's also our wedding trip. We're going to get married, basically elope, and call this the honeymoon, or wedding, if you will, whatever you want. I'm going to tie this back together. So the trip is very important, just as racing is important, but sometimes you have to take care of life, and that's what I am doing at the beginning of the year. So after I financially recover from that, there will be a lot of racing to do, but I will be starting the season a little bit behind, and I'm going to be gone until April, so that eliminates a few of the races that I can do. Okay, I'm going to go set this back in its home, sitting in a pool of oil, pretty much. Be right back. Everything just slides off of here so nicely. There's a little bit of grime in here. I'll probably take one of these since it doesn't have any lens. Theoretically. As you can see, there's just a little bit of, sorry, I'm not used to filming all of this. It's really hard to see, but there's some grime on here. There you go, now you can see it. We have primary drive gear bolt, washer, primary drive gear. So what I'm going to do for this, against my better judgment, is put it in the same bag as my oil pan stuff, but label it accordingly. So yeah, next season should be interesting. I know I want to do more of the national races. I'm still going to continue as a novice racer. Primary drive gear. I'd like to do more of the national races. I had a lot of fun doing those last year. They were a lot more competitive. There were a lot more people. I'm kind of tired of turning laps around Nelson ledges, you know, competing against 7 people. I think when I did Cycle Jam in Road Atlanta this year, there were like 16 people in my class, which made it so much fun. I got to do so much passing and so much getting past, of course. And it just kind of changed the game. It was just very motivating and a really good time, and I think it'd make me a lot better of a rider, so I want to do more of the national races. All right, so the next thing, remove crankcase bolts. So we're going to take a little pause. I am going to have to flip this all the way up so I can get, there's a bunch of bolts at the top of the crankcase that I need to get to, which I can't really do when it's in this position, so I'm going to figure out some way to get this secure and flipped upside down completely so I can take these bolts off as well as the ones that are inside of here, and then we will get this crankcase split and the transmission out.